Hey! Yay, people are coming in. Hi, guys. Hey! Oh, thank you. Hey, girl! I learned how to make moderators finally. Thank you. Thanks, guys. So, I was just sick for literally like 10 days, and I just wanted to come on and chat and, I don't know, reconnect. Yeah, if you guys have any like metaphysical questions or anything like that, I don't know, I just thought we could just connect and chat. Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet. Thank you. I'm glad I'm better too. What's my fave zodiac sign? So I I love Leos, and they drive me crazy at the same time. I have they have a special place in my heart, but they also drive me up the walls. But I don't know if I have a favorite. Um, let's see. Oh, okay. Yes, I am feeling better. Thank you. Yeah, I had so I went to the doctor. And does this ever happen to you guys? Like you oh, thank you. But yeah, so do you ever just like go to the doctor and they don't test you and they don't like I went there with a real sore throat and both of my lymph nodes were like very, very swollen. And the doctor just like touched my neck and was like, "Oh, you have strep." And then he gave me these antibiotics, and then it wasn't strep. I had to finish them out because they say that it's like worse for you not to finish them. And I went back like 4 days later to a different doctor, and they're like, "Nah, you got mono." So the antibiotics were actually making it harder for my body to fight the illness. Yeah, I don't know why. Oh yeah, you. It seems like people are getting sick. It seems like at the end of the summer. Oh, you have a concussion? Oh, no, like they do that even with a concussion? Yeah, I feel that. It's honestly, yeah. I don't know why they're trained not to do the proper tests, to just like assume it's something and then give you whatever they think. Ugh, are you feeling better? Yeah, I know, Doctor. Levi, yes, doctors do suck. I try to stay away from them as much as I can. Oh, good. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah. I know I didn't give any warning about this live, so I don't know how many people are gonna come up, but if you guys got questions, just drop your questions. Literally anything. Yo, okay, Jenny says, oh, sorry, I'm still trying to figure out this live shit. It went away. Okay, I went to the ER with chest pains, and he didn't even use a stethoscope and said it was probably a UTI. Yo, I think that's probably the worst diagnosis I ever heard. UTIs do not rest in your chest. What's my favorite type of music? Robot to Panda says, what's my favorite type of music? My favorite type of music is rap. I love like really raunchy, dirty, like sometimes downright like just like ugly, just not good, but I love it. I love rap. Okay. What's my zodiac? My zodiac, I'm a Cancer sun, Pisces rising, and a Pisces moon. Jenny says, I thought I was being punked, yo. Right? Like, where's Ashton? He can come out now. What are your guys' zodiacs? Leo, oh. Scorpio, hey. Aquarius, Scorpio, Virgo. Virgo, happy birthday. Cool. Do you guys know, like, if you don't know this, Taurus, Leo, Libra, hey, Aquarius. Okay, we got like a good mix in here. If you guys don't know to look up like your natal chart, that would be really good. I mean, you probably already know, but you can just go on Google and you can put in a search for free natal chart calculator, and Cafe Astrology is a good one. And they totally, like, you just have to know the time you were born and where you were born, and they will tell you where the planets were aligned when you were born. So then you can find out what your moon sign and your rising sign are, as well as the rest of your chart, because your moon and your rising also play a big part in your personality, as well as your Venus. Find out your Venus and you'll find out why you fall, like, romantically fall for the people you fall for. Yes, Cafe Astrology is great. It's yes, Venus. Yeah, like, my Venus is in Virgo, and I can't say that I've fallen for too many Virgos, but I have fallen for, like, like Leo Virgo cusps. Leo rising, Scorpio moon, Aries Venus, a lot of energy. It is a lot of energy. Bye, love you. Ugh, yes. Oh, Antoinette says my Venus is in Scorpio. I hold on a lot, or I think I hold on. Yes. Yeah, I mean, Scorpio's, my boyfriend's Venus is in Virgo. What should I look out for? So, Antoinette, yes, Scorpios, they definitely, still waters run deep, right? It's fixed water, so it makes sense that you would hold on to a lot. Boyfriend's Venus is in Virgo. I think Virgos are very well-spoken, well-mannered, hardworking, giving people. But I think a lot of the times they might not say exactly what they're thinking or feeling. So they can be a bit passive or even passive aggressive. So I would say, like, if your boyfriend's Venus is in Virgo, I would just, like, when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to love, I would just make sure, like, to check in with him, because he might not tell you, like, oh, I'm feeling this kind of way. He might just, like, slowly keep it inside and get bitter. So, yeah, just make sure to check in. Virgos are also very, very, very self-critical. So, yeah, it could be important to check in that way as well, to make sure that he's being kind to himself. What if a guy's Venus is in Scorpio? I feel, so I would say, I know women do this too. Like, I'm not saying it's just men, but, like, I know Scorpio Venus, like, they can have a hard time. It's similar, I would say, to, like, Venus and Gemini, where it's like they will get very attached, but that's the thing with Scorpios, they'll get more attached, but they will also, like, have a harder time resisting temptation. So, and a lot of people, like, when they've got their Venus in Gemini, I hate to say it, but a lot of them do have, like, a history of cheating, and I don't want to say, like, that all do, but I think it's similar with Scorpio in that although they may be very, very attached to a person, it might be easy for them to, like, fall into temptations. And that can be temptations of addiction as well. Like, it doesn't just have to be sex. It can be anything. Let's see. Thanks. Bill says nice hair. Yeah, sometimes I just gotta wrap my head. Thank you. Okay. Hey, love your channel. You're great. Aw, thank you, AT. That's very nice. Remy, I really liked your video about abusive relationships. It was very insightful and empowering. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was just a message that I was getting that I felt like I needed to share. And I know I had a subscriber who comments on a lot of my stuff and interacts a lot, and they were very offended by that video, and I felt very sad about that because I think and I could see where they were coming from when I was saying that, when they were saying what they were saying. They thought I was kind of like giving people a pass to act abusively and just blaming it on demons. And that's so far from what I was trying to do. I was really just trying to express how that can escalate a situation and make it worse. But I never want to give abusers a pass or for anyone to think that I would. But I makes me happy that you learned something from that and you felt empowered from it, because that's what I'm just trying to do here, you know? I look, oh, Nomi says, I look absolutely stunning. Thank you. Wow. Thanks so much. That's really nice. I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little refreshed after being all sick, you know? Hey, and if the antibiotics did nothing else, they definitely cleared my face up a bit. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to mispronounce your name. Yo, that's why when I do private readings, I like write that name down because I don't need to be confusing spirit in here just pronouncing everything horribly. So sorry. Oh, Remy, I'm so glad it helped you. I'm so glad it resonated. It's something that I feel to be true that resonated in my situation. My Venus is in Capricorn, I just checked. Oh, nice. Yeah, then you definitely look for stability in a person, I would say. It seems like Capricorns really, they just like to have stability in general, in finances, in home, in life, and don't we all, but Capricorns really need that. So, if your dude has a Venus in Scorpio, I would never say, like, that's not good, but, like, it just might not be that stability that you're looking for. It might be a little bit of a different kind of a connection. Mira. Okay, that's how you say it. Why is it? I don't know why I thought it was said so different. Oh. I'm just gonna stop trying to pronounce your name. What do you think about 18 plus tarot readings? So, I guess I kind of fell into it because I swear a lot and sometimes my spirits speak very sexually to me. So I just kind of ended up like being like, "Oh, I should probably put like a disclaimer on here because it might not be appropriate for everyone." But then I started like really kind of like looking into the culture and the community of the 18 plus tarot readings, and I feel like they're fun. I feel like they're interesting. I enjoy them. It's definitely like a guilty pleasure. Um, but yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that the people who do them kind of like, I don't know if y'all watch Naya Loves You, but Naya Loves You 777. I think she said it in one of her videos. She was like, you know, all of us readers out here, especially us 18 plus readers, we are, you know, we're brave because, you know, we have families and young children in our life, and some people just don't think it's like, I don't know, some people think that it wouldn't be a good thing, but you know, I think she's incredibly brave too. She will really tell you. But I don't know. I don't know. I think it's fine. I Antoinette, uh I've been meaning to look at your other videos where you talk about abuse. I watched the one where you talked about being attacked by spirits. That was interesting. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was like a really freaky encounter. Yeah, but I do like doing those paranormal story time videos because, when you're reading, it does take a lot of energy. It will take a lot out of me. It takes a lot of time for me to set up everything. It takes a lot of time for me to pray. It takes time for me to open a portal and everything like that. And I do love doing these readings on here. But it was like when I was doing the paranormal story time, all I had to do was sit down and remember a memory. So it was like that shit was it was like just remember the memory, say it, and then like that's it, you upload it. It was that's why I did so many in that one day because I was like, "Wow, this is easy. This is nothing like doing a reading." Lots of attacks lately. Yeah, dude. I don't know about y'all, but like, so I really also like to watch Arabian Conjure. Y'all probably watch her too. She's got a ton of subscribers and she's really good. But I was watching her live earlier today, and that woman is so strong. She's so, 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 so strong, and it seems like she gets pissed, but shit doesn't really get to her. And she was crying, and I was like, if Arabian Conjure is crying, like it seems to me in amongst the people that I watch and amongst the people that I communicate with, it seems like spiritual givers and people in the spiritual career path are definitely being attacked right now, not just by like spirits but by humans as well, and our energy is really being like pulled on and pushed around. And when I saw her crying, I was like, yo, this is more than just our individual attackers or whatever. Like a lot of times I feel like, I'm the kind of person, I believe in like chemtrails. I believe that our government has no good intentions for us in America where I live. I believe that our government is full of pedophiles and um, uh, people who cannibals. Like from research as well as listening, look up satanic ritual abuse survivors, and people will give you their first count stories, and they all like, I don't know, just as an empath, you can tell when people are being truthful. But I feel like there's been an outspread, like an attack by the government, spiritually, like you were saying, as well as just like if they're amping up the chemicals that they're putting in the air, whatever they're doing. I feel like people are really at their wits' end, and I don't think it, like, just the fact that so many spiritual people who give spiritual guidance are under attack right now by people as well as spirits, it really feels like it's not coincidental. And I feel really big change coming. Okay. Jenny says, my holy water got picked up and thrown across the room. Oh my god, that's really scary. Ugh. Rach said, I just wanted to know what made you want to do YouTube. I think you're brave sharing parts of your stories in videos. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I wanted to make a YouTube. I was really inspired by other YouTubers who were like around my age and who were creating businesses for themselves. And I just thought they were really cool and very inspiring human beings. And Spirit was like, well, Nikki, why don't you just do it? Do it. And so then I was like, no. And then I thought about it for months, and Spirit was in my ear like, do it. Make the video. You got people to help. You got messages to give. You got a story to share. Like, do it. So I did. And at first, I had like no subscribers, but I was getting like, a couple views, like 10 views here, 11 views there, whatever. And I just kept going. Like I started out doing monthlies of all the zodiacs because that was like the videos that I watched. And eventually, like I can remember, like if you look at some of my old zodiac videos, I'll be like, wow, thank you so much to my 11 subscribers. Like I love you, because I didn't have any subscribers at first. So, and I would always say, I know one day I'll have many. And yeah, so it kind of And then once I started doing pick-a-cards, it like everything just kind of took a turn, and I started gaining more subscribers. But I really just want to do it to help people share my stories, and because Spirit said so. And when I don't listen to my spirits, it's not good. It doesn't turn out well for me. When did you figure out your gifts? I'm clairvoyant, but I don't know how to harness it. Great question, Antoinette. So I'm sure as somebody who is clairvoyant, you can remember being a child and having certain experiences throughout your life that would, you know, that you would be like, okay, like that makes me feel like a psychic, or you were drawn to like certain, occult type things and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I want you to know that you have had your gifts since the beginning, and they were probably really, really strong as a child, but then the adults and, rational minded people around you probably told you like, no, that's not real. Like, I have my friend's sister literally was like, I could fly down the stairs until her mother told her she couldn't. Like, she literally has memories of her like flying down the stairs, and I believe that shit. I've heard other people say stuff like that too, like they had some sort of superpower or some kind of psychic gift or something like that they had until the people around them told them that they didn't. So it's like you probably had it really strong as a child, and what happens is like society, as well as the chemicals and the processes stuff in our food, like everything, vaccines, everything around us is to try and dumb us down and take away our powers. If y'all don't subscribe to Conjure Queen, which I'm sure you probably do, go find her because she is like amazing. She talks about how like the certain things they try to dumb us down, like in Hercules. She was saying, you remember when he's like, if y'all have seen Hercules, he's like, he drinks this potion that dumbs him down and makes him into a human, but he doesn't drink the last drop, so there's still like that bit of God in him. You have to consider yourself like that. Like, your whole life people have been trying to dumb down your senses and your gifts and tell you that it's not real, when in reality that little piece of you is still awake. And so what I would suggest to do, well, something that helped me was getting a tarot deck, because it was like, I first got my tarot deck. I got my first tarot deck, I think, like 8 years ago, and it was like I was trying so hard to connect to something and talk to my spirits and figure out what was going on, and it was like that kind of gave me confirmation because the cards would actually relate to my life, and then I could trust that what I was hearing was actually truly psychic. So I would suggest getting a tarot deck or a pendulum. Pendulums are great. I worked with those a lot when I first started. But yeah, it's I would suggest that. And I would suggest doing as much research as you can on anything spiritual that pops in your head, because when stuff is popping in your head that is of a higher vibration, that is spirit. It's not like your ego mind. That's your spiritual mind trying to tell you, like, look this up, because certain things will activate your DNA. Listening to certain people speak will activate your DNA. I love listening to Conjure Queen because she does activate my DNA. I also listen to Amber Khan. Her readings fucking activate my DNA every month. It's the more your DNA is activated, the more you will remember from past lives, and the more you will connect to your gifts. Let's see. Oh, Jenny says, you are around my daughter's age and the youngest reader I've come across, but so on point. I literally binge watch. Thank you. Yes, I was always drawn to dark arts, occult. Yes, of course you were, because you are a witch. Yes. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Uh, your family is Christian. Yeah, so something I would like to say about that is a lot of people, a lot of witches and spiritual people, empaths, psychics, people like that, we are going to be the black sheep of our family. We are not going to fit in. We were born not to fit in. We were born into this family to be different, so that we could have the time alone, so that we could have the solitude to grow and change and bring our gifts to light. And there are sirens right now. That's Archangel Michael. Yes. So that's just confirmation. But we're born into these families that don't understand us because, for one, we need the time to grow, but also because we need to break the familial curses that have been laid in generation after generation in that bloodline. Like, there are plenty of different kinds of generational curses. They might be something like physical, where like maybe if your family just eats crappy shit all the time and then everybody has heart disease or something like that, and your family's like, well, it's just in our genes, and you're like, no, it's in what we're eating. Like, it's not just who we are, it's this we have to realize certain shit we do like can break those curses, even if it's like you were abused or molested or anything like that. It's like, if that has been going on for generations, then you're here to break that curse, so that if you choose to have children, or the children that you have in your life, like, you raise them in a different way so that there is no abuse, there's no bullshit, there's nothing like that. You got to trust your psychic gifts so that they can show you the way, you know? What are my thoughts about pick a card readings? I think that pick a card readings can be very accurate. I think that as long as you pick with your gut, they can be accurate. And the reason I believe this is because I believe many people are on the same like vibrational frequency at the same time. Like, many people are walking a very similar path at the same time, and that's why like zodiac readings will resonate with people as well, because it's like the way the planets move and the way energy shifts, groups of people go through certain things all at once but at different times, if that makes sense. So that's why like thousands of people can watch one reading with only 3 groups in it, and it's gonna make sense to you because that reader is tapping into the energy of whatever path you are walking down at that time, that you have many other people walking with you. Aw, you called Archangel Michael your best friend. He is such a best friend type. Well, good for you, Antoinette. You should keep speaking your truth. I was a late bloomer, near-death experience at 38. Now I'm 44. 3 complete strangers told me, you are an empath. I channel through music. It's a great way to begin. Yes, thank you, Jenny. That is a great suggestion. If ever you're like in the car, you can like speak to your spirits and just be like, hey, like, do you have any messages for me? Please send them to me through Song Now. And then you can like hit the scan button, and it will scan through, and like when you feel it or when you hear it and you know it's your message, you just press the button and you listen to whatever it is that they're trying to tell you. Sometimes it might even be like those church stations. Sometimes that happens to me where it's like the church station, and it's like a message from the Bible that I needed to hear at that time. And I'm sorry about your near-death experience. That's really scary, but to be honest, it seems as though a lot of empaths, it's necessary for them to go through a terrifying or horrible or just like life-changing experience to access their gifts and to change their life, you know? That just seems to be the way to actually activate, one of the ways to activate these gifts, and to have like that true empath energy, like to be empathic, to feel the pain that others feel. Oh, nice. Getting those morning messages. Yes, I can channel through music and numbers. Yeah, numbers is a big one. Yeah, the car is a great place to listen for messages. Like, you're driving. I have to take like an hour drive to my chiropractor, and it's so nice, dude. It's like all back roads, and I just see whatever mailbox numbers pop up for me that day, or like the license plates or whatever. Like, whatever music is coming up, I just know that that's part of my message. And it's cool because like when you drive alone, like, you're not going to be distracted. You have to pay attention. Like, you have to pay attention to your driving, but you can also, like, you can tune in. You have to pay attention to spirit because there's nobody else there, you know? Can hear yourself think. Does anybody have, oh, hey, what do you get when you see the name Shannara? Please not the Shannara. For some reason, I get an Egyptian vibe. I don't even know what the Shannara Chronicles are. Shannara. Wow. Okay, so I just got a feeling in my solar plexus. Like, and when I think of the solar plexus, I think of light, I think of confidence, I think of the sun, soul, yellow. Also looking at this thing on my wall right now that's like gold and blue and sparkly, this painting that I made, a sigil that I made. And the sigil is for love, abundance, and good health. But those colors do remind me of Egypt. And if that's what you feel a connection to, you should follow your gut and start doing some research on Egypt so that you can possibly activate your DNA from a past life. I always see 11s and 10 when I am on the bus to school. Yeah. Wait, when you're on the bus to school? Okay. Yeah, I mean, 11 is a big manifestation number in my belief. It's also a twin flame number. I also think of it as a partner number because, like, 1 and 1, like a perfect pair, like 11, 11. 10 is also the completion of a cycle. So you might be like cycling out a phase in your life. Or you said you're like on the bus to school. Maybe that's a message that they're trying to give you about your schooling and like that, like manifestation, like you are kind of like laying the roots for your life, you're setting a foundation through this manifestation of getting your degree. I see a buffalo. Okay. Buffaloes are very, very healing. I love buffaloes. I'm pretty sure Oya is also a buffalo spirit, which is one of the 7 African powers. She's like the storm spirit. But in my goddess deck, there's the white buffalo woman, and she's the healer, and she brings peace and she brings love. Buffaloes remind me of Native American culture and the respect that they had for the planet and have for the planet, and just like gentle kind of peaceful energy. Hi, Flower. Antoinette. Yo, I gotta be honest, when I hear Antoinette, I think of like Antoinette says, what about my name? I think of so I've actually been told that I lived a past life in like Victorian times, like, like the big wigs, big dresses, like those cage dress things. So when I hear Antoinette, like I just think, oh wow, like just beautiful. Like I think of like an opulent room, kind of like a tea time room full of like white and pretty stuff. Or like if any of y'all are Italian out there, y'all know you had like that grandma or that aunt that just has like the beautiful sitting room that like is just gorgeous and decked out in pastels, and like no one's allowed in there because it can't get messed up. Like I think of that kind of shit. Like I think of like a beautiful sitting room. I think of a beautiful like Victorian woman sitting in her pretty sitting room sipping on her tea and just like basking in her beautiful stuff. Very like Libra energy, like that nice quality shit. Hi. What is the best way to cleanse your decks? Any decks you recommend also? Great question. So, I like to smoke my decks. I like to take like my sage or my Palo Santo, and I like to hold the deck like over the smoke and let the smoke kind of like go up and around it and engulf it all the way until you see it like come up in a stream on top of it, because then I feel the smoke is really moving through the cards. I also like to knock on my decks. Like you can clear the energy with like sound healing. You can knock on them. You can use a rattle. Really whatever resonates to your soul. But I personally like to smoke them, especially if they've been doing a lot of work, because I feel like my decks, like I don't know, I look at a lot of inanimate objects as having, like, energy, you know, or, like, feelings or anything, like, if I haven't used my deck for a long time, I like to wake it up, like, 'cause, like, what if you were sleeping for a real long time, like, hibernating, and you're like, "Ah, this is great," and then all of a sudden someone just picked you up and started shuffling you around. Like, first you would like to be woken up and be like, "Hey, like, I know you've been sleeping for a while, would you wake up? Wake up now, please," you know? But I like to smoke my decks because I feel like sometimes they just take on a lot. Like, sometimes I'll do, readings for, like, project graduations or different kinds of events where I'll be reading hundreds of people at once in a night, and, like, just like I get really tired from that, I know my decks get really tired, and if I have the courtesy to sage myself and smoke myself after something like that, I feel like I should extend that courtesy to the tool through which I was divining, you know? 'Cause your decks are a channel just like you're a channel. I like to deck my decks. That's funny, Flower. Yeah. Psh. Knock, knock, knock. Hey. Remy? What do I think about when I hear the name Remy? Ooh, wow. I just got like a really beautiful earthly scene of like canyons. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen, I mean, I haven't seen them in real life, but like those red canyons where they're like perfect holes in them and like they're just really beautiful and clean looking. I just got a scene like that of like really beautiful, clean looking land with like very mountainous caverns and you know, like horses, like old I just felt like the old west with that, but not like, you know what I mean, like the landscapes and red. Do I have each card, the whole deck in my hand? I just take it like a chunk and then I like hold it underneath and then I watch it pass over and around it and then come back through the top. How many decks, sorry, I'm trying to read the live. How many decks do you have? Many. I don't know exactly. I started with one and I recently just started acquiring many more. I should probably count. I think I have like 8 right now, but that's just because I like to, they all speak differently to me and they all give me different messages. So I like to, I don't know, some I barely ever use and some I use every day, you know? You love my face. Thank you, Morningstar. I love your face. Your picture is like a sugar skull and I like that. Ooh, Jenny says, Duchess, you also have a very recent past life. Beehive hairdo, it was red and go-go boots. Hey, that makes sense to me. Sometimes I I used to struggle a lot with like suicidal ideation. I feel as though I have made myself like over a hump. I no longer really suffer with that. Um, but it used to be my everyday for most of my life, and then really heavy for like 3 years where I was really working on my mental health and, you know, in the hospital a lot and just sick a lot from mentally not well. And I sometimes I wonder, I do feel as though I have a very recent past life because I may have possibly not made it through that whole life, whether it was an accident or, you know, taking my life. And that was part of my lesson that I had to learn in this life was that you can't just jump ship. Like you can't just, which I hope that doesn't sound insensitive. That's the way that I am talking to myself at this point now that I'm kind of over the hump. But it makes sense that you would say I have a recent past life because I really have always been attracted to that era. And I wonder, I just wonder if I made it through my whole life. Probably not, because here I am, right? Like, I'm reincarnated. Um, hey, I really want to know your opinion on Lucifer. I hate how people paint him in a bad paint him to be bad. I don't know. What do you think? I feel like I've known him before in another life, not in this realm though. That's a great question. So often on my channel, I talk a lot about demons, and I want to make it clear that certain spirits in certain religions would be considered an angel, and then in another religion, that same spirit is considered a demon. Lilith is a perfect example of this. Lilith is a goddess, an amazing goddess that was demonized. And so I do believe in entities, like demon-like entities that are here for no good, that are here to fuck you up, that like to prey on the human race. Parasites, if you will, kind of. But I also do believe that, like you were saying, Lucifer, I don't know much about him personally, but like I have a place in my heart for Elegua. Elegua and I, like, we love each other, but we fuck with each other. I will tell you that. Like, and he is one of the 7 African powers, and some people consider him to be like Satan. I don't see him as Satan. He's a crossroads spirit. He's a trickster. He's a motherfucker, but I love that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that back and forth energy that I also have with Leos. But it's like, I don't see him as a demon. But even though, like, I guess he could be considered one, he's just not what I would consider evil. He's not evil. I think a lot of these spirits, a lot of these entities are labeled as evil when they are given the demon label because one religion doesn't agree with the way that they're acting. But at the end of the day, one of our lessons in life as humans is to understand that we are not just love and light. We are also darkness. We have duality. That's one of the amazing things that, like, that we experience that not everyone, that not other entities can experience. We have emotions. We have different sides to ourselves. And so I think that it's important to connect with the dark as much as it is the light, because if we connect too much to one side over the other, then the energy is imbalanced, right? I'm sorry you used to struggle with those thoughts. You are so good to us. You have a huge purpose, lady. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I really, really do. Oh, Flower says, yes, Duchess, might even have been the Titanic, for instance. So true. So true. Damn. Whoa. Whoa, I just felt that. I'm sorry, Antoinette, that you went through that as well. But you know what? It's part of our path. That's what I have to trust, is that everything has happened for a reason. Oh, have a great night. Thanks for popping in. Hey there, I was told I committed suicide in my past life and I am paying back lots of debt for that. I feel you. Yo, I feel that. I feel that deeply. Wow. Actually, you're exactly right. Wow. I love Lilith. Yo, I love Lilith too. Yes, the story of Lilith is amazing. Yeah, what I will say, Antoinette says, I've heard of Elegua heart eyes. I also have heart eyes for Elegua, but what I will say is someone like myself, I am somebody who for a long time was codependent in the sense that, I was codependent in the sense that I was like too much of a giver and I would want to fix people that, like I have had many addict ex-boyfriends, and, it's really easy for my energy it was easy for me to focus on other people and give my energy to others and really not put it back into myself, but then kind of be upset or bitter in the end because I put in all this energy into another person. And with Elegua, you have to step to him knowing what you want and knowing what you're going to give him, but demanding what he's going to give you in return. He is like an opportunistic spirit. So if you let him walk all over you, he will. He will see how much he can get from you. He will see how much he can drain you. He will see how much you'll feed him, give him alcohol, smoke him up. He's like, you got to think of him as like an opportunistic human, but just in spirit form. And like, I will say, when I first started working with him, like, everything was great at first, and then eventually he just started taking, and I had to learn how to put my foot down and say no. Like, I need to put me first. And I actually had to put my relationship with Elegua on hold for a couple months and just keep him at a distance because, you know, I had to learn how to set boundaries with him. Just like there are a lot of times I need to learn how to set boundaries with people, you know? But now we're on good terms because we know what to expect from each other, you know what I'm saying? So, Elegua, I love you. Shout out to you. I heard a story, Flower says, I heard a story about Satan being the twin brother of Michael named Satanael. I'm probably just butchering that like I've butchered every other name. Was disobedient to his father God and was cast from heaven with many angels and lost the tail end of his name and became Satan earthbound. Yeah, dude. There are lots of origin stories, but when you think about that, like, that's kind of what we're doing here on earth, because like we have free will. So it's like we've been cast down into these earthly bodies. Like, there's a lot of beautiful things we can experience in this life, but also, like, I think there are many beautiful things to experience in this life. But at the same time, like, we're no longer part of source. We're no longer part of the God source. So like we have free will. We can do what we want. Like, we like you were saying, Satan didn't listen, so he got cast down. Okay, you don't want to listen, you don't want to do that, you want to have free will, fine, cast you down. Cast you just like a human, you know what I'm saying? Like, now we have free will and we can make our own choices, but it's up to us to make the right choice, and it's not always easy in this life, you know? Some people say earth is hell. I believe some demons that are considered evil probably don't have a choice. They were probably turned evil by a higher power. Yeah, Happy One, I feel you with that. Like, I know a reader who's like, who thinks that just like, he believes that certain humans are the way they are just because that's how they were born. And he also believes that certain entities are the way they are just because that's how they were born. That's how they were created. Like I said, this is duality. Like, there is light and dark, and light cannot exist without dark, and dark cannot exist without light. So it's like some people are just designed that way. Some entities are probably just designed that way by the overall source energy. That stuff is so interesting. If you want to learn more about ancient gods and deities, check the channel Mortis the Wizard, who has first-hand spirit communication. There's a video on John Dee. See, I will check that out. Oh man, I'm always looking for new shit to watch. I love listening to people talk about this kind of stuff. I'll stick to Isis and Osiris. I plan on naming my kids after them. So what I will say is, if you're going to work with certain spirits, make sure you're working with them from the correct origin. So Isis and Osiris is the Greek version of Aset and Asar. So Aset is Isis, Asar is Osiris. So like, if you want to work with those Egyptian deities, make sure that you're working with them in their form with those names, because that's respectful. If you want to work with them in their Greek form, then work with them with that name. But don't come to like an Egyptian god or goddess using their name through another culture, because that can be offensive. But if you would like to work with the Greek versions of them, then that's great. You're drawn to the Hindu goddess Kali. Wow, Kali is so powerful. I love Kali. I love working with that energy. And let me tell you, Kali and Sekhmet energy are very similar to me. And like, as long they're the kind of, like how I was just saying, like, spirits that want, you gotta tell them what you want from them and then give them the appropriate thing. Like, Sekhmet fucking she comes through for me. She comes through for me, and so does Kali. And it's like with those two, they're very business. Like, they're chaos energy, so you have to know how to handle a chaos energy spirit and how to work with it. But it's like you call on them, they're there, and they're talking business. Like, okay, you want this, this, and this done? What you gonna give me? And then you tell them like, oh well, I can give you this, this, and this, and they're like, yep, and then that shit's done. Or like they're like, nope, and what else you got? You know? Set is like that too, but she's got that more loving, mothering energy. So if Earth is hell, why do spirits come here? Is it to experience the 3D world and experience time? So there are a lot of theories about what Earth is. I heard this really interesting theory that it was supposed to be this trading, kind of like a trade center, where it was like other entities from the universe and from other planets could come and use the resources, because Earth is rich with resources. So these entities could come and get the resources that they need, but eventually it kind of just turned into this weird experiment where they were like leaving people behind, and certain souls to live on this planet, they had to take a physical form because they were being left by the people around them. And then eventually, like, other entities, like, because, you know, just like there are good and bad people, there are good and bad interdimensional entities, so aliens. So then there's a lot of people who think that, like, certain subgroups of aliens that had negative, you know, that want to do harm, that are self-serving, they found this planet and were like, yo, this planet's the shit, and now it's mine and no one else can have it. So what was supposed to originally be like an area to come together and gather became this really weird, like, fight for dominance over it. And a lot of people believe that the reptilians did dominate over this planet and are still dominating over this planet because they are shapeshifters, and that the elites, the 1%, they're not fucking human. The people who created this fucked up society that it was based on money and greed and bullshit and like weird social constructs, like, they're not even human. They're just here reaping all the benefits. So I believe, like you were saying, why would spirits come down here? I believe that a lot of us who are here now, we're not of the human spirit. We are other interdimensional entities, whether that be aliens or gods or goddesses, you know, whatever you believe. I don't believe that we're humans. I think there are a few humans that are like intermingled in here, but I think we're here so that we can overthrow the bullshit that this planet has become. Because when I look out at the beauty and the nature and everything like that, it's like, why would we crush that down to build societies? Why would we kill, you know what I mean? Like, why would we wreck this planet to make it our own? It just doesn't make sense. It seems very not human. Not human to not want to live off the land and everything like that. So I personally do believe our government is could I don't know, but I think they could be infiltrated by interdimensional entities who are just trying to sustain self. I know that reptilians, um, you know, they prey on energy. They suck energy and they prey on innocence. And with what I know about what the US government, and you know what, it's not just the US government, it's around the world, but I just have more information on the US government. What I know about the powers that be, the 1% that hoard money and hoard supplies and don't fucking put out the fire, the Amazonian fire. Like, we had the resources to do that, we just didn't. Like, I believe that the our us spiritual workers, we are not human. We are much more powerful than human, but we have forgotten ourselves. We have created a soul plan to come down here and overthrow the bullshit that is this planet and the society that is just not working. We're here to make change. Like indigo children, crystal children, rainbow children. It's just, yeah. Mm. Truth, Duchess, the Catholic Church is so wrong and has reaped so much pain. They must be the drunk harlot on the beast with 7 heads, drunk with blood of martyrs and saints, hoarding wealth. Ooh, I just felt that like down to my core. Yes, dude. Yeah, and they are drunk with blood. These people are cannibals. They are like the 1%. And yes, the Catholic Church. They're pedophiles. They feed off the innocence of children for their own sick, perverted needs. They feed off of the blood, literally cannibals. I think y'all do your research. You would be fucking shocked and awed, like jaw drop to the ground if you knew how many people eat people. How many rich people eat people? Like, who would do that? Why would you? That's a demon. Like, that's what, when I say a demon, that's like a negative, evil energy. Like, demons need blood. They spill blood. They eat blood. They drink blood. So like when I'm talking about these reptilians, that's that like evil demon energy that they need that to survive. They prey off of us to survive, when in reality this human existence could be so beautiful and loving and caring, you know, and connected to the oneness. I can see why Earth can seem like purgatory. Yeah, I was watching an astrology spiritual teacher say that during this time you should know who you are, whether that be a witch, starseed, or a human. Yes, and I think some of us are all of those things. You know, how I just personally believe that we've lived many, many, many lives. So it's like, in one life you could have been a witch, in another life you could have been a starseed, in another life you could have been something else. Like, I think we are all just like in this life, we are a collection of the experiences that we have had throughout this life that make the person that sits before you. It's your soul is like that too. You are a collection of the lives and experiences that your soul has journeyed on. So you're all of it. It's just up to you to find out what resonates the most to your soul. I'm missing what everyone's like responding to Morningstar and I'm missing it. I'm RH negative. RH negative, and sometimes when mad lights go crazy, it wows me. Lower, which is why I ran from Catholicism. It was all too much to do my own thing now. I'm spiritual. I believe religion is made to control us. Yes, Ashe. Snaps for you. Since I was a kid and my family was making me go to church, like, I just knew, like, how can a human tell me how to be spiritual? How can a human tell me, like, what I can and can't do, what I can and can't believe when it comes to my soul? It's a means to control us. I actually just went to a funeral for my aunt, and it was like a Catholic funeral, and the guy, it was like very Catholic, and the guy was, the preacher guy was like, only Catholics in good standing are allowed to come up and take communion. If you ever had any respect for, you know, my aunt who had passed, if you ever had any respect or love for her, you will not approach me. Well, you will not approach for communion unless you are truly going to church and in good Catholic standing. And my poor father, who was, you know, baptized Catholic, but, you know, not in good Catholic standing, going to give confession and doing everything like that, he was like, well, I guess I can't go up. And I was like, yo, Dad, do what you want. I turned to him, I was like, you know you can, because that guy can't tell you what to do. Like, what the fuck? I think that's so dumb. I think that's so dumb. And I also don't, like, I've had other people tell me that they've gone to churches and, like, you can't talk to, like, the preacher because, like, he talks to God. And I'm like, yo, I talk to God. Like, I am God. You're God. We're all God. How you gonna tell me that I'm less than you when we're all the same? Like, that's just a tactic to make you think that you don't connect when you do. People look at me like I'm Satan himself when I say that. I got chills when you agreed. I've never had anyone understand. Yo, I feel you very, very, very deeply on that. I feel as though it's like politics. It's just another construct to tell us what we can and can't do, tell us who we are and who we aren't, and have control over our lives. Yeah, I know. I was like, what? I know that guy was so full of shit, but they had the most biggest, beautiful statue of Archangel Miguel, Archangel Michael there, and I was like, I was so starry-eyed, and I was just like he was talking to me the whole time, and he's like, you know, this is bullshit. My nanny, who's passed away, was talking. One of my guardian angels was talking to me like, this is bullshit. Don't even listen to that douche. You know he's doing some fucked up shit on his weekends. You know he's doing whatever kind of creepy ish he does and then acting like he's a man of God. Allegedly. I don't know, but you know, that's just what they're telling me. Everything is meant to control us. Organized religion, money, entertainment, literally everything. Yes, Remy. Yo, yeah. And another thing, like you said, entertainment, like all these movie stars, all these like people in the public eye, it's just, I hope you realize that they all have handlers, like their managers or whatever. Like these people who handle them, these people, the image that is created is not their own. They're not making their own choices. There's a person, it's like the Wizard of Oz. It's like we see that big face in the smoke, like that the Wizard of Oz is this big, beautiful, like, wow, this is amazing. We see this image, but there's a creepy, sweaty old guy behind the curtain that's actually pulling all the strings and creating this image that we are idealizing. Thou shalt not worship false idols. I don't know if that's the exact thing, but like, as much as like I will say that like religion is controlling, I will say that the Bible is like a power. There's good shit in the Bible, and it's a powerful tool. It's a powerful spiritual tool, as well as the Psalms. The Psalms will take you, it's like spell work. It's spell work, but you know, Catholicism doesn't want you to know that. Organized religion don't want you to know that. But you're not supposed to worship false idols. They're creating all these false idols in their image for us to worship, when in reality we should be, I wouldn't even say worshiping, I would say working with and working equally with the gods and goddesses. That's what we should be working with. That's what we should have pictures of in our house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I, don't get me wrong, I have posters of people I like in my house too, but never would I ever fucking bow down to a celebrity. I don't even, like, actors, I can recognize their talent, but I can't get on that same page of like, wow, I'm so starstruck. So I'm like, they're not who they say they are. They are the person, they are the manager behind the scenes. Divine Feminine Diary. You shouldn't follow God out of fear. You should follow God out of love. Religion scares people into believing. It rarely recruits people with love. Ashe. Yes. Yes, fear. Nothing good can come from fear. And nothing real can come from fear either. Because it's just a perceived illusion. Love is real. Yo, yeah, we should fear nature. People don't give the elements enough credit. I also love how the Amazon just like they were like, fine, like the Amazon forest was just like, fine, none of y'all are gonna help. I'll just put myself out with some rain. And I know it's like hasn't completely like taken care of the situation, but I just think it's kind of interesting that like, you know, there was no humanly help, so Mother Nature was like, fine, you're not gonna help, I'll just do it myself, you know? Yes, I believe the Bible and Christianity was hijacked by the Romans when they could not control the rise of Christianity. They hijacked and killed all the real Christians. Yeah, dude, that makes sense. Christian, like, there's been so many religious slaughters of other humans. Crucified Jesus again. That's right, the same Romans, the Catholics. It's interesting because there are certain, you can look up, like, the true story of Jesus. And like, don't get me wrong, I believe in Jesus. I believe that Jesus was a guy who was like one of the first like kind of like magicians, a healer. Like he was working with, he was working with the down, the destitute. He was working with the prostitutes, the homeless, the people like that. Like he was healing, and he was like a magician. He was doing shit that people couldn't really explain. However, I don't necessarily know or believe, I don't know. I haven't had confirmation, but I don't necessarily know or believe that he was crucified and rose from the dead, because I remember right before Easter one year, I learned about Ishtar. And if you don't know about Ishtar, she is the goddess from which Easter originated before it was like whitewashed with Christianity. That's why there are eggs and bunnies, because those are her signs, like signs of fertility. Astarte, she is also known as Inanna. But anyway, so I don't necessarily believe that he was crucified, because there have been multiple, like, I found this amazing documentary and then YouTube took it down. Of course, our government fucking took it down, and now I can't find it anywhere. But it was this really amazing documentary just talking about all the other gods that have crucifixion and resurrection stories. I think there's like 3, and one of them was like really like almost exactly like Jesus's. It was like drink of the blood, eat of the flesh, like that kind of that same shit. And so a lot of people were saying that, the Christians came in and fucking killed the people of this religion. And well, Christians, I will say, no one is really the truth of the religion at this point. It's just so washed out with bullshit. But they came in and they destroyed all of the people that were in that kind of that religion, and then took the story for themselves. So like, I'm not saying he did or didn't. I'm not saying it did or didn't happen. I just think that there are plenty of other instances of this happening in other religions or spiritualities. And I think that Christianity has a history of stealing origin stories. Bye. Bye, Jenny. Jesus was here to raise people to a higher consciousness. He was an ascended master. I think he was crucified by the Romans. Again, the Romans that found the Christianity on his blood and bones, which is a joke and a dress up. Yo, wouldn't that makes so much sense, and that makes me real mad. And wouldn't that be the ultimate joke? Because do you ever wonder why you walk into a church and like, instead of seeing a nice like, I love when I walk into a church and I see those big statues of like the Madonna, or of Jesus, or of Joseph, or of, like I was saying, that big one of Archangel Michael. It's like, oh, like seeing them in their prime makes me be like, wow, like I love that energy. I love that. Why the fuck we got a big old cross with a crucified Jesus? Like, never have I felt comfortable underneath. I always feel like this comfortable love when I am around the statues of like a regular God or goddess just doing their thing, being peaceful and happy. But never have I ever felt comfortable just like basking under an emaciated Jesus with nails all in his body up on a cross. Like, that makes me, it doesn't give me that same feeling. It gives me a stressful feeling. So wouldn't that just be the ultimate joke that they did that and killed him, and they're using that symbol for us to harness our energy under? I just hate when religious people bash the occult or spirituality. Yes, me too, but that's just another way. They're just brainwashed. They're brainwashed, and it's just another way for, like we were saying, for the religion to control us, to to tell us what we can and can't be, and to keep us from unlocking our powers and our true potential to overthrow the people who are in power, who want us to believe these things. Yes, Morningstar, we are woke. I'm so happy to have woke people in my chat. Really, though, it's so nice talking to like-minded individuals. The thing is, the Bible is not a book, it's a collection of writing from different times and sources. The Romans decided what was allowed in it in the council. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was like yeah, there was like a gathering. I forget the dude's name, but it was just like some royal guy that gathered a bunch of other rich people together and was like, "This is what we'll say Jesus did, and this is what we'll say he didn't." Like, there's a literal part in the Bible that was like, that's like, women shall not wear pants and a man shall not wear a skirt. You can't fucking tell me that while Jesus was down here trying to get shit done, trying to like, you know, wake up the masses and heal the masses, you can't tell me he was like, please write this down. This is directly from God. Women can't wear pants and men can't wear skirts. Like, nah, he had other shit to do. Like, that's so ridiculous to me. That's just like the perfect example of like the fact that like this is a human construct of what was going on, and it was decided by a small handful of people what they wanted, you know? Yes, I also agree that the Bible is a book of spells. That's the thing, is like how I was talking about Hercules before, like how he prevailed in the end and he became a god. Like, they hide shit in plain sight. So like, yes, it's full of spells. Yes, it's full of truth. Yes, it's full of messages, and it will activate your DNA. You just got to know how to use it. They want to keep people in the religion, like keep them, you know, out of their power, and tell them that they don't talk to God and that they can't use it for spell work and that it's not powerful in that way. It's a learning tool just to take with and not actually use, when in reality they're using it for those reasons. So it's like, we will prevail, you know. And they hide shit in plain sight all the time. Like, all these, I'm sure you've noticed that there are all these movies coming out that are very spiritual now, or like into the occult, or, you know, just talking about witchcraft, talking about personal power, talking about aliens, talking about doomsday, the apocalypse, like the purge, shit like that. They put shit like that right in our face because they think it's funny to them. They think we're dumb. They think we're not going to figure it out, when in reality, it's activating our DNA, and it's reminding us who we are. It's the same thing with the Bible. Let's see. Yes, movies and TV. So something I really love to watch is Adventure Time. People are sleeping on Adventure Time. I know it's a cartoon, but that shit is woke and it all connects. Like, I'm about to rewatch it, like all 10 seasons. I just finished them and I'm about to rewatch it again because there are messages about life and about spirituality and about oneness, and as well as past lives. There's a lot of talking about past lives, harnessing power, and the way that energy repeats itself. And that's an amazing show. I love Adventure Time too. That's my shit. But I also, Rick and Morty, like, the first season's kind of like, ooh, but it's also realistic. The third season is woke as fuck. It talks so much shit on what the truth is, as well as like uh talking about shit that's right in front of our face that we might not be noticing, and it puts down like it just, I feel like it just is a very good explanation of how like the universe can be manipulated. Hiding in plain sight, like Jimmy Savile was a radio DJ, funny TV presenter who was raping corpses and disabled people for 4 decades. Oh my God. And the reality of that is most people in the entertainment business are doing really fucked up, insane shit like that. And participating in these weird, freaky, like, I don't even want to call it out cult rituals, because it's not, like, or even like satanic rituals. It's not. That the shit they do gives satanic rituals and occult rituals a bad name. It's like secret society, weird ass human bullshit that, And like I was saying, I don't even feel like a lot of these people are human. Like, that, yeah, hiding in plain sight. And like the Jeffrey Epstein bullshit that was just going on. Like, all the people that are coming to be found out to be connected to him, like, this shit's just been happening under our noses for years and years and years, and finally it's coming to the light. I think 2020 is going to be a big ass year for finding out the truth about the 1%. Yes, Morningstar, witches are the enemy because they shed light, they shed truth, and they are they are what's going to bring down the establishment. That's true. I remember I was telling a friend that a lot of media is profiting off of Satanism and the occult, but being spiritual isn't necessarily that. Yeah, I guess the Satanic Church literally sued Sabrina. So that's another great one. I just really liked that one on Netflix because I thought it was interesting to see what the interpretation of Satanism was in the entertainment industry in a show like that. But that church, I'm pretty sure, is actually suing that show because it's such a gross misrepresentation of what they truly are. And yeah, the Citadel, yeah, I don't know how to spell it. Oh yes, the evil Morty one. Yo, yeah, when he just like kills everybody at the table. Like, I feel like, yes, like I was saying, there's just a creepy, sweaty man. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. There's literally just like some creepy old freaky guy that's running at the entire show. What's your opinion on Beyonce? I think she's Oshun in human form. She just recently said it in a song. I think she channels Oshun energy. I wouldn't give her that kind of credit. I also believe that she's probably a cannibal and a pedophile because you really can't be in the entertainment industry without being one, or a prostitute. Like, I hate to break it. I mean, y'all probably already know this because, like Morningstar was saying, like, this is a woke as fuck chat room right now. But, like, uh most people in the entertainment industry are prostitutes, and the more that I look at them, the more that I look at like their clothing choices, like especially the Kardashians and shit, like when I look at what they wear just like out, y'all can't tell me that's not like a prostitute. Not saying that there's anything wrong with sex work, but they are prostitutes for the wrong reason. They're prostitutes for power. Like, normal people don't dress like that unless they're like, those people are selling their bodies. Like, and I understand that they're selling their bodies in their industry, but I also know that they're fucking people for their success. And a good way to tell, like, y'all, Ariana Grande is one of the worst. Like, I feel bad for her because she's been in it since she was a kid, and she's probably, this is all she's ever known. But whenever you see somebody with big old diamonds around their neck, Marilyn Monroe was one of the first, like, prostitutes that they had, that they were just passing her around to everyone. And it's no coincidence that she fucking killed herself, or what. When she does these you listen to interviews of her, she was just like talking about how miserable she was. They told her she had borderline personality disorder. They basically just told her she had all these mental health issues, and my ear is ringing while I'm saying this, when in reality she was just being re-traumatized over and over again by being sexually assaulted to have the career that she had, as well as, I'm sure, lots of other freaky stuff, horrible stuff was happening to her and those that around her. But Ariana Grande is like one of the worst. Like, they always say you can tell who are the really high-end prostitutes when they got the big old diamonds around their neck. And even that Ariana Grande song where she's like, look at my neck, you ain't got enough money to pay me respect. Come on. You telling me, look at my neck, look at all these diamonds, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I also feel like they really push a pedophilic agenda with her because she looks so young, and they had sexualized her since such a young age. Yeah, no, I think I think Beyonce is a strong woman and an interesting woman and very, very talented at what she does. But I do get dark energy from her. I think it's scary she has children. I think it's scary that a lot of these entertainers have children because I know that they're just doing really unsavory and terrible things with their children. But I do not believe she is Oshun incarnated. I do not, I don't know. Uh, I guess I just have a hard time really respecting somebody who, I mean, I guess I don't truly understand because I do not have children and I have not been married, but I do feel as though I would be someone that if I was cheated on, I wouldn't take that human back. One strike, you're out. I feel like that sets a really bad example. It could be true that the elite are one sinister club. Epstein's black address book is out there and it seems, yes, dude, it seems like everyone was in it. I know. Well, the more I listen about this, the more I'm just like, it's interesting because like I have a personal Instagram. If you want to follow it, feel free. Sometimes I drop knowledge on it. It's the Duchess Lady. It's a lot of pole dancing that I post, but a lot of times in my stories I'll drop knowledge. And right before everything came out with Epstein, Spirit was like, girl, get your phone, make a story, and do a reading. And I did this crazy little reading about how like the government officials aren't who you think, people aren't who you think, and it's time to start doing your own research because a lot's about to come to light and it will be more palatable for you to understand that like it'll be easier if you already know the truth. When the truth comes out, it won't be so scary if you do your own research and you already know the truth. And like I think it was like 3 days after that's when everything came out about Epstein and I was like, yep. Oh, I don't think there's anything wrong with making money through sex. I just think that these people are basically like sex slaves. Their slavery, I feel like they're slaves to the power that they're trying to get and slaves to their handlers. Like that's what they actually call them in this industry when somebody is completely under the control of another human being. I don't believe any human should be completely under control of another human being, but I don't think there's anything wrong with making money from sex if that's something that somebody wants to do. I will say that it could really mess you up spiritually because your yoni is your stargate, your vagina is your stargate, it's your core power place. So, and your phallus is also your core place of power. So when you are sticking your phallus in someone else's like power or whatever, like whatever you're doing with your genitals, you're going to suck up the energy of the human that you are doing that with. So it's important to be on the same vibrational page as the person you're sleeping with. And if you're not trying to connect, like if you're not trying to suck up all these people's energy, then you don't necessarily want to do that. I don't think I would never judge somebody for making decisions in that way, but as somebody who is sensitive and empathic and psychic, I can't really just go out and do that because I will take on the energy of other people. Yes, there are some very powerful ancient Egyptian deities that these artists channel. I think, for instance, Inanna, who also appears in Spirit Box Voices in Mortis the Wizard's channel. I'm gonna have to check that shit out, but I totally agree. So something that Conjure Queen often like talks about is taking back our Saturnian symbols. So like Saturn is, you know, Satan. The it's supposed to be like the negative planet or whatever. Like I'm sure you've heard of your return of Saturn is like the hardest time in your life, when in reality it's just accessing the shadow side and accessing a power center. So like the fact that people fear the eye of Heru, the eye of Horus, the eye of Ra, this is all a construct, you know, because they've taken our symbols and our Saturnian symbols and they've turned around and used them against us to make us fear and to make us you know, think that we're weak, when in reality we have to take back our Saturnian symbols. We got to take back our symbols and not fear them and actually use them for power. A lot of us are descendants from ancient Kemet, the Black Land, you know, like ancient Egypt. Those are our symbols, and they're using them to fucking like rape children and eat people and kill people. Like, we need to take that shit back and put it back to what it's supposed to be doing. Like, taking these powerful, like you had said, taking the energy of these powerful entities and turning that around and giving it back to ourselves and putting this planet back on an appropriate vibration. Make the money. Don't let the money make you. Yep. Money is just a vibration. You're celibate now? Yeah, I have been for a while now because I just can't, it's just, I can't mess up my spiritual path that I'm on. Very true. I declined the invitation of an old high school friend who was basically offering herself to me. I felt her energy would mess me up, and I do not regret it. Good for you. I'm glad you followed your gut, but it's true. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with sleeping around with a bunch of people. It's just not good for your soul, in my opinion. But like, you might notice that people who like sleep with a different person every week, like a lot of them don't know up from down, and they don't know who they are, and that's because they're mixing their energy too much with other people, and their Stargate is flooded with the energy of others, and it's like, or their phallus is flooded with the energy of others, and now they don't even know who the hell they are. They're happy one second, they're crying the next second. They're this way one day, they're this way another day. Like, don't get me wrong, not everyone is like that. Some people can handle it, but some people just really can't, you know. Yes, it is very tempting. Good. Well, there's nothing wrong with being a virgin. Also, I had this really interesting, like, sociology professor one time be like, virgin is not a real thing. He talked about, like, social constructs a lot, and he was like, virgin isn't real. Like, it's not a medical condition. Like, you can't go to the doctor and be, like, diagnosed as a virgin. Like, I understand there's, like, the hymen and whatever, but a lot of girls' hymens get broken with tampons or, like, horseback riding or sports or just like being active. So like, being a virgin is a social construct, and it's not actually like a real thing, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think it means you're powerful and that you have known to save your energy for somebody who truly matters or who will truly mesh with your energy. I am a Pisces male with 5 planets in Pisces, so I'm like a sponge. I should call myself SpongeBob. You should call yourself SpongeBob. Yo, I always say that about Pisces. My best friend has a little Pisces son, and I just watch the way that poor baby just sucks up the energy of everyone and everything around him. And like, I have a Pisces moon and a Pisces rising, and I feel you. We are the embodiment of the entire zodiac. We feel literally everything, and we are so psychic, and we hold so much energy. We take the pain of others to save them from that pain, and it's like, we just can't really be fucking around like that, because we will feel it, and we can accidentally take on the karma of others that was never supposed to be our own, and it can be just like way too much, and it can just add roadblocks in our path. All the Pisces up in here, they feel me. And you know what? I feel you. Yeah, oh my god, my ex was a jacked up Pisces in all caps. Yeah, they probably had no control. They probably had no idea how to protect their energy or control their energy. Sounds like us Cancers. Yep, I am a Cancer sun. The water signs are all very similar. I would say that Scorpio is a bit more like badass and a bit more able to kind of like keep the energy. Not saying that Cancers and Pisces aren't badass. We're badass as fuck. But like I think that Scorpios being the last of the water signs, they have like not the last, second to last. I think that the fixed water, I think it makes it easier for them to focus on self, like fixed, go within, rather than, you know, the mutable or the cardinal. I think it's a little easier for them to separate self from others. Hey, oh, you're Cancer moon. That's awesome. Opinions on Aquarius. So I have a lot of love for Aquariuses, but I will say almost every Aquarius I've ever met in my life has had some sort of addiction issue, whether it's codependency, drugs, alcohol, working out, workaholic, food addiction, just the list goes on. You can be addicted to literally anything, and I find that Aquarius, I've never met an Aquarius that didn't have some sort of addiction issue. I think they're wonderful. I like to call them the weirdos of the zodiac, which is a huge compliment because I love weirdos. So I think they're hilarious. I think they're charming. But the way I look at zodiacs as well is I think that there is a healthy version of each zodiac sign and a sick version of each zodiac sign. Like my terrible ex who was really abusive, who I've talked about in a few videos, he was an Aquarius, and like he had many admirable qualities to him that I really loved, but he had some really fucking god-awful ones as well. So I would describe him as a sick or unhealthy Aquarius, not in his power. There's also, I met a Libra recently, like within the last year or so at a job I was working at, and I had never met a Libra like him, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this guy was just like so negative, so like everything, the world is against me, like just horrible. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this Libra? Like, I never met a Libra like that. And then I was like, oh, duh, he's a sick Libra. He's a Libra not in his power. He's a Libra focusing on his illness. Aquarian men are selfish and detached. They can be. Antoinette, I love weirdos, so I don't mean anything by that. Yes, great way to put it, Remy. There's undeveloped signs versus developed signs. Yes, and they will be very, very different. Like an undeveloped, we'll just say undeveloped Sagittarius next to a developed Sagittarius, you'd be like, what? You're the same sign, but it's like one is living in their power and one is living in their pain. Yeah. Does anybody have any more questions? Whoa, this is 93 minutes. You're sad. That's awesome. I don't know if I'm gonna like publish this after, because I feel like that will take all night for my phone to upload it. Guys, if only you knew like what a Stone Age kind of like YouTuber I am. I only just got internet in the last year and like had to catch up on all these years of shit happening, and like I just upgraded. I just got a stand to hold this phone because like I was saying in the beginning, like I had no expectations when I made this channel. I did it because Spirit said so. So like I just got a stand to actually hold up my phone and get a little bit of a better view. Like I was literally just using this little ottoman that I have to hold up my phone while I just sit on the ground and read these readings, you know. But it takes so long to upload. I don't have a computer. I literally just use my phone, and it takes like twice. It takes about the amount of time of a video, if not twice the amount to upload that ish. I just learned how to make moderators. I just learned how to try to monetize my channel. Like I am just like I'm like a cave person out here trying to do this. So yeah, I don't know if I'll post this because that will see I think that will literally take all night for my phone to post it. Yes, it is a very unique live tonight. What do you think about ancestor altars? Great question. I think they're very important. I think before you go to spirits, you should go to your ancestors because they have your back and they love you no matter what. Now, there are good ancestors and there are bad ancestors. You're going to want to call in the ancestors that do have unconditional love for you, that you know have your back. Like, don't be calling on like the uncle, like the creepy uncle that was like that drank himself to death and beat on you. Like, he's not gonna do you any good in this life. So I don't even know, like, that's just an example. But like, you have a grandmother who passed away who was like one of your favorite people before she passed. Call on her because she's got your back. Because then when then when you go to work with spirits, like, it's not going to be as easy for them to take advantage of you because you're going to have spirits in that same realm with those gods and goddesses that are going to be like, no, you can't really take advantage of her because I got her back. I know her. Or sometimes you'll go to a spirit and they'll be like, who the fuck are you? Why would I want to work with you? And then your ancestor comes forth and says, look, I know this person. They are of my bloodline. I can represent them. Like when you're getting credit. Like if you don't have any credit and you need a cosigner on something, sometimes it's like that with like the spirits. Like they're gonna be like your cosigner. They're gonna have your back. I think it's very important to set up an altar for them. And it can be whatever you want. Like mine is just full of pictures of my ancestors, and I put food there and I put little trinkets there and crystals there. Also, the incense welcome the ancestors in so that you are able to like basically if you put out food, you're going to want to put out an incense too, because it kind of like the smoke, it's like the church says, let my prayers rise like smoke to heaven. That smoke rises and lets them know like dinner time or like offering time or I need to talk to you time. But I think it's very important to work with our ancestors. Yes, your oldest brother passed away. Yes, that's absolutely an ancestor and probably a guardian angel of yours. Yes, and the lower astral is closest to our sphere, so we have to be careful. Spirits are playing with us and our emotions, wanting to mess us up because they are envious or frustrated. Yes, great point. And our ancestors are going to have our back no matter what, whether or not we forget to give them an offering. Like, it's like you got to think, like, if you forgot to send them a birthday card, but you were like seriously apologetic, like they'd obviously forgive you. If you forget to give an offering or something to a spirit, they might not forgive you. They might curse you because they don't fucking know you. They might curse you, or they might take everything they gave you right away and then never give it back and never want to work with you again. Now, I do have animal guides and spirit guides. Yes. Yes, and it's like we have different, I think sometimes people think that we have just one totem animal, but we have many, and a lot of times certain totem animals just come in at certain times to give us a certain message for that moment or for that week or whatever, and then they that energy was with us and now it's going to the next person. So we can have like we have many rotating spirit animals all the time. You can see that in the rather creepy songs of David Bowie's last album, Black Star, which is a reference to the same Black Tar, sorry, Black Tar Elvis sung about. The star you see before you die. Bowie had one foot in his grave. Yo, a lot of entertainment people, like, they know they're about to die and they give us those little hints and those messages. Like Prince did that a lot before he died. A lot of them do. They got, like you said, they got one foot in the grave and they're like, well, got nothing to lose, might as well enlighten the masses. I'm gonna listen to that because I never listened to that. I'm also gonna look up that person you keep talking about. Yes, Antoinette, we all have a lot to learn. That's why we're here. That's why we're incarnated in this human body, to learn and grow and change. Bunny, snake, and birds are the main ones for you. Nice. I love all three. I often see all three as well. I love snakes though. I love snakes so much. Oh, I just got like all stressed out thinking about how much I love snakes. I want one so bad, and my parents are like, "Well, we're never going to come visit you if you have a snake in that house." But I love snakes. They're so misunderstood. Alaya, girl, I think Aaliyah, sorry, I pronounced her name wrong. Just like I pronounced everybody's name wrong, Aaliyah. Aaliyah, yeah, no, I think she was murdered. I don't think that plane went down by coincidence. I think that she was with a really abusive and powerful man in the entertainment industry, and I think that when she separated herself from that abuse, and this abuse was going on since she was an underage child, I think once she separated herself from that and was truly on her true path with her new soulmate, I think the powers that be decided that that didn't work for them because she was no longer going to be living in her trauma, and I think she was killed. I do. She was a Capricorn, makes so much sense. She was such a hard worker. You listen to her every day. That's really nice. Everyone who knew her said she was literally an earth angel. Like, people were so devastated by that. You're scared of snakes and you have a lot of dreams about snakes. Well, we have to think of every single thing on the planet as a reflection of ourselves. So, like, or an aspect of ourselves. So, like, when people are scared of dark entities, or are, and I'm not saying evil, I'm saying dark. When people are scared of like the shadow side, when people are scared of shadowy animals like, spiders, snakes, we have to think of this as an aspect of ourself and the kind of energy that we hold, because we are duality energy. We are both light and dark, and we have to ask, what about this reflects back to you what you fear in yourself? What kind of fear is manifesting through this animal, through this deity, through this whatever that you truly feel inside about yourself? And then once you kind of overcome that fear, you can realize, like, once you figure out the origin, you can realize that there is nothing to fear. I agree, she probably was an actual angel. Snakes, dragons, tigers, hell yeah. Whoa, her name literally meant the highest, most exalted one. Wow, that is absolutely beautiful, and it makes a lot of sense. Names hold a lot of power. And like you were saying, Antoinette, that you want to name your children Isis and Osiris, truly connect to those deities, because that is what you will incarnate if that is what you are going to name your children after. Like, those are big shoes to walk in, and you just want to know, like, what you are incarnating when you are giving that name. Hey, I hope you're having a beautiful day or night too. Anyone who's interested, listen to Elvis Presley's song Black Stars lyrics, and then listen to David Bowie's song Black Star and Lazarus. They will make sense. I'm about to do that after this. What is with the number 22? I love how you said that. What is with the number 22? You must be seeing it a lot. 2 means balance. You need to create some more balance in your life. It's also a lucky number. It means good fortune is coming your way, and also a partner could be coming your way. I see it every day, and my birthday is 7/22. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Spirit could just be really trying to connect to you too, and like, I don't know if you just like listen to the voice in your head, and like, I don't mean like in a schizophrenic way. I mean in like that inner voice, that inner dialogue, and you're listening and you know that it's bigger than yourself. I think they just want you to tune into your inner dialogue a little more and tune into them a little more. and less into the ego mind and the fear and self-criticism. Oh, that's so cool. Your daughter's life path number is a 22. Wow, I don't know much about life path 22, but I know it's powerful. Good. I'm so glad you talked to yourself. We all should talk to ourselves. Talking to yourself is a sign of intelligence, but people like to say you're crazy. Also, if y'all see static, like if you see colors around certain things, if when you like just open your eyes and look, you see static, like that's your third eye opening. That's your third eye seeing the molecules that are creating the physical objects in front of you. But it's interesting because if you look it up on Google, the first thing that will come up is that you're schizophrenic. Talk to yourself. Oh, you're schizophrenic. Hear voices in your head. You must be schizophrenic. Nah, you're gifted. Like I was saying in the beginning of this, like I spent a good amount of time in psychiatric hospitals and in group therapies meeting a lot of tortured souls with mental illness. And in my opinion, from my experience, from all the people I met, and I met a lot of people, I never met a single person that didn't have a mental illness, that didn't have a trauma first, and most of them, I will say, were just gifted and going through an ascension period. But when we go through this ascension period, society likes to tell us that we're sick and pump us with medication so that it takes away our ashe, it takes away our personal pranic power that we are tapping into, our kundalini power, any power like that. They like to feed us all this meds because, like I was saying with Hercules, they like to give us that juice to dumb us down and make us mortal again, when in reality we are ascending. Third eye bothers me when it opens. I don't know how to use it. It vibrates hardcore. You gotta meditate. You gotta meditate and see what your mind has to show you so that it doesn't bother you so much. I have so much more interesting things to share, but my last tip, look up Sumerian clay tablets audio on YouTube explaining our creation and the ancient gods. These tablets are real and it is in a museum. Like the emerald tablets of Tehuti. I'm gonna look up the Sumerian clay tablets. Y'all, if y'all haven't looked into the Anunnaki, get on that shit. That opened up my mind to whole new ideas and just took my learning to another level when I started to learn about the Sumerians and about the Anunnaki and about this race of people that just disappeared without a trace, but also had certain things in life that just didn't make sense for them to have without having help. Yes, please do research it. I see lights around everything, and for years I couldn't understand until Spirit said to me, see, I told you everything is energy. I see it around cars passing. Yes. Yes, yo, for the longest time when I was seeing this static, I was like, I need to get my eyes checked. I can't see. Or like when I would see people's auras, I'd be like, yo, I need to get to the eye doctor. I can't see for shit. And I got really stressed out at one point and thought I was like losing my eyesight. And then when I did the search, it was like, you're a schizophrenic. And I was like, no. And then finally, like you said, Tony, Spirit was like, girl, that's not what it is. Like, get your shit together. It's none of that. It's just spirituality. And actually, Conjure Queen is the one who told me that when I see when you see static, it is you literally being able to see the molecules that are forming this reality. Girl, stop putting it off. Go do it, Antoinette. You gotta look it up. Like the emerald tablets, but these are from Thoth, who was the Atlantean who who are even older. The clay tablets describe our creation and ancient atomic war. Yes. Okay. So Thoth is Tehuti. It's like the same energy. It's just like how I was saying, like Isis and Osiris are actually Aset and Asar. So Thoth and Tehuti are the same. I'm wondering if they're the same thing or a variation of the same thing from different cultures that literally just channeled the same thing in a time where there wasn't a connection, where you could like, you know, talk about ideas like that throughout cultures. Like whatever was going on in your culture was your truth. So I wonder if it's like Thoth, like if it's just a different channeled energy from another civilization, or if it's literally the same thing just with a different name. Please post more videos. I love them. Do some readings or something. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been taking it easy. At the beginning of the video, I was saying I've been sick for the past 10 days. So I had like really sick, like can't do, like literally my mom bringing me food and stuff because I couldn't leave the house. Like friends coming over and making me meals because like I was like real sick. And the reason I was so sick was because Spirit told me no more reading, like no more personal readings right now, Nikki. They said spend some time alone, spend some time at home, but instead I started reading again for just like a couple people, and I was doing all these readings for family and friends, and I was doing all this stuff for family and friends, and then I got my ass hit with a fucking 10-day sickness, and Spirit was like, you gonna listen next time? You gonna listen and slow down when you're supposed to slow down? So that's why I haven't been posting as much, because it's just like Spirit basically has told me I need to protect my energy, because I was just wearing myself out too much. But I I just created a website so that like you'll be able to book the personal readings through the website. It's gonna make it a lot easier for me because I was just kind of like getting emails and sending every like a whole explanation of how I do everything in every email, and it'll be easier because you can like pay through the website. I haven't like it's done, but I haven't actually like launched it and published it yet because I'm just not ready to start taking readings yet. I also make like magic candles, and I make like magic soap and little like witch bottles and stuff, and I might possibly eventually start selling those on the website as well. No, Antoinette, don't feel bad. I'm the one who said I could do it. Spirit just like fed up with me. It's a me problem. It's not a you problem. Thoth describes himself as thrice great because he reincarnated as a god 3 times, the last being Hermes. Wow, very interesting. And 3 is the number of the ascended masters, so that's really interesting that he was like ascending each time. I feel like I have a past life that ties to Atlantis or Lemuria. You probably do. You probably do. Something that Spirit just told me is that you should paint. You should paint whatever is in your head, and it will help you connect to your past life. Oh my god, I make a garlic tea. It's life make a chamomile tea with 2 cloves of garlic and a tablespoon of honey and a lemon slice. Yeah, I was making a lot of little remedies this whole time, trust me. I would literally basically like crawl out to my yard and just fucking lay there too, like, and just take in Ra's energy and like take in the sun's energy and like recycle my energy back into the earth, because I was just like, ugh, like so sick. Thank you. I appreciate it. I painted the ocean with a full moon not too long ago, and they've been trying to get me to paint more. Thank you. You're so welcome. I also love to paint. So what if we see 3 a lot? That's the Ascended Masters trying to contact you to tell you that your mission is bigger than yourself. Look into the Ascended Masters. It's like Kuan Yin and Jesus and Buddha, also known as Siddhartha. It's an Ascended Master number. Good night. Thanks for chatting, Tony. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the convo. I'm so glad we are able to have such like an awesome conversation. Garlic is very powerful. It's powerful to fight parasites in your body, but it's also powerful, like if you have like a charcoal burner, you can put garlic on the charcoal and that will chase out any kind of negative or evil spirits in your house. Chase them right the fuck out. I see 555 everywhere and 111. So 111, that's spirit. That, like, I always think of ones as spirit. I think of 11s as manifestation as well. So, and 555 to me is always change and movement. So I feel like spirit's saying that you are manifesting change and movement through your actions. I always wondered, did I have a past life in ancient Egypt, since I've always been drawn to things related to Egypt, like jewelry, movie, gods, goddesses, just everything related to that time period. You probably did. Like I was saying in the beginning of this, most of us did have lives in ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, because we've lived so many lives. So in at least one of your lives, yeah, you probably were like alive in that time period. I also think a lot of us, like I was saying, how we need to take back our Saturnian symbols, our ancient Egyptian symbols that are being used against us and used for wrong and for evil. Like a lot of us are probably incarnated from that time period. A lot of us have probably incarnated back to take back those symbols because we were probably up in the ether like, that's offensive. We don't do shit like that, so don't use our symbols like that. You're using them wrong. So we came back down to make a change, you know? Ashe. A lot of us have ties to ancient Kemet. Yes, Ankhs are very powerful. I actually have a little Ankh on my wrist, but I don't know if you can see it because the chat's in the way. No, you can't see it. There it is. I got it. And then this is actually a big Egyptian tattoo on my arm, and then I have Aset on the back of my leg. And then I have this the tattoo for that's the hieroglyph for Sphinx over here, which is Ra incarnated. But so I got those after I got in a near-death car accident, and I got them in the points on our wrist in Reiki that help us reach our full potential, because at that point I really wasn't as connected to spirituality as I should be or as I am now. I just knew that that was my truth, and it really helped me to unlock the potential. So I would always say to do a good amount of research on what it is that you're tattooing on your body, but I will also say that tattooing something on your body will open up your mind, and like tattooing something spiritual on your body will kind of like if you have a gut feeling that you're like, I need that on my body, once it's on your body, like so much divine information will come to you psychically about that other people may never have because they don't have that kind of connection. Is there a reason I'm drawn to red roses? Yeah, probably. The Mother Mary, one of her symbols is roses, as well as skulls. Not a lot of people know that about her. Skulls and roses represent her. That's like, you know, like in like the Day of the Dead. It's like that. Do you believe tattoos are a form of blood magic? Wow, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I'm glad you survived the wreck. Thank you. Me too. When I first made my channel, I tried to do a story time about it, and I literally just was like weeping and crying for 45 minutes, and it got like 10, that was back in the day when I was getting like 10 views, and I had like 13 people view it or something, and I was like, oh, this is terrible and way too like vulnerable, and I took it down. But maybe someday when I've like worked through I'm about to do some EMDR therapy to kind of work everything into my subconscious and clear myself out. So maybe once I've worked through it a little more, I can do a story time about that. It was crazy-ish. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've never really thought of tattoos as a form of blood magic, but that makes a lot of sense, and I think you're right. I think it is. I also believe that a lot of ancient cultures and a lot of ancient people used to tattoo their bodies with symbols of how they wanted to reincarnate, or like there's this tribe that every time a woman would have a baby, they would put like a circle around her stomach, like, you know, the rings of a tree, to say like that she had a child, and this actually helped put the muscles back to where they needed to be, and helped them heal efficiently. So I feel like tattoos are healing, I feel like they're spiritual, and I feel like a lot of people throughout time have utilized them to help access their power. So yes, I do like that idea of them being blood magic, but I also see them as highly, highly, highly protective. And there's not a single tattoo on my body that is not spiritual, because I feel like, I mean, I don't know, I might get a fun tattoo or two, but I feel like if you should use this space on your vessel. The way I feel about it is our bodies are like an avatar. Make your avatar what the fuck you want it to be, and use it for your highest and greatest good. So like, use that space on your body for the spiritual. Yes, morning star. Roses and skulls represent the Mother Mary. Yes, they have even found primitive tattoos on prehistoric people. It was patterns of lines like a sign language. I'm not a fan myself, though. Hey, like I'm saying, to each their own. Do whatever you want with your avatar. But yeah, they found like mummies too, as what, like mummified people, not like wrapped up mummy, but like, you know, like this is gonna sound so fucked, like jerky kind of mummies, like people who are dried out like jerky. They have like, they found a bunch of tattoos on people. I'm not having luck with blood magic. So something that I feel like is a misconception about blood magic, like at first I thought it was like you had to sacrifice a goat or something and then like drink the blood, but it's not that at all. Like you can literally pop a pimple and use that tiny ass bit of blood just to amp up your spell. Also, if you are a female, menstrual blood is very, very, very powerful. You can save your menstrual blood to add to your spells, and you don't actually have to prick your finger or anything. Something I will say though is I am a person who has a lot of spirits who feed off of blood, and when I wasn't giving them blood in a easier form, like I was saying, like popping a pimple or like blood, like menstrual blood, they would spill my blood because they wanted it and they weren't getting it. So like there was a time before I understood like really what I was doing, where my spirits would literally, I would cut myself on like everything, like deep big cuts, like spilling fucking blood, because I wasn't giving the blood. Like I can't, like there are certain spirits that are attached, like not, I don't want to say attached to me, but certain spirits that run in my soul tribe that just feed off of blood, and that's who they are. It doesn't make them bad, it doesn't make them good, that's just what they are. So it's just, and those spirits are an aspect of myself, just like your spirits are an aspect of yourself. So it's important to understand thyself and to give yourself what you need. And like I needed to give those spirits the blood in other ways so that I didn't end up keep getting cut. I want to get a moon tattoo, but I'm not sure about it. It may bring confusion to my energy, or it could bring clarity. I think it will bring whatever intention you put on it. I think the moon is extremely powerful. I actually have a stick and poke from my friend on my toes of the moon phases, which hurts so bad. Like, I wouldn't suggest getting a stick and poke on your damn toes. It really hurts. But I feel like it just connects me to my femininity, but I also feel like the fact that you have fear around it just instills the like societal fear of women and like putting down the divine feminine, because the moon is the divine feminine incarnate, just like the sun is the divine masculine incarnate. So it's like I think it would help you connect to the feminine side of self. Whether you're a boy or girl, it will help you connect to that side of self, because we're all aspects of everything, right? Um, but yeah, the society definitely fears a goddess in her power. Yo, you been getting cuts? Try what I was saying. Try just giving them, or like if you're a man and you cut yourself shaving, you put those little like pieces of toilet paper on your face. Literally give that. Like it's that they just want a little something. Yo, I don't know if you can see it, but I got this like big ass like dent scar thing in my finger because I literally almost sliced my fingertip off because a candle I had exploded, and then it like the wax cooled and the glass got stuck, and my dumbass tried to pick it up and I almost like sliced my finger off, living alone, like hyperventilating, don't like blood, almost passed out, hand above my head like crazy, because and then like it just kept happening. I just kept cutting myself and like really 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 badly in a lot of different ways, always on my hands, and my hands are what I heal with. And then finally Spirit was like, yo Nikki, just like stop, just pay attention, stop cutting yourself and just give us blood in a different way. What is Archangel Michael's symbol? He has a sigil. You can look up his sigil. It is very powerful. And what I will say is Archangel Michael is very giving and really doesn't ask for much in return. He just wants gratitude, and he just wants your attention when he has something to say to you. He's a good friend and very protective. He vanquishes evil. Yeah, I was born on a full moon, so there's like an attack. Wow. Whew. Hold on, let me address that. You were born on a full moon? That is powerful energy. That is very powerful energy. There is like an attachment to it for me. I even have a birthmark in the shape of a full moon, and I was born on the 11th. Wow. That's powerful. You know, I've heard actually that birthmarks have sometimes have something to do with how we died in a past life. Like, I've got this big kind of like splotch in the center of my spine on my back, and I always wonder if I got myself stabbed, like literally stabbed in the back. I'm a girl, so I just need to start like leaving blood somewhere. So when you have your period, what you can do is you can take like your tampon or your pad or whatever, just wrap it up in a piece of toilet paper. I'm on my period right now and I'm doing this right now. And you just wrap it up, you know how you would, so you don't see anything. You don't have to just like have a bloody tampon out. But then you just kind of like can put it somewhere. Like, I just leave my offerings, I just leave it like on the back of my toilet. And it's like, or like if you have an altar, you can leave it on your altar, or you can save it for your spell work. But I don't think it's gross. Like, it's my vagina, it's my blood. Like, I don't think it's gross. And I think it's a shame that society kind of teaches women to think that it's gross or weird or anything. But like I was saying, that's just to keep us out of our power. But you can just wrap it up and leave it wherever you want for as long as you want. And the way that you know, like with any offering, the way that you know that Spirit is getting it is it'll like dry up. If your offerings get moldy, Spirit's not getting it. If your offerings like if you put out food and it like dries right up, or like you put out this like tampon and it like dries right up, that's how you know Spirit was able to like if you guys haven't seen Coco, that was a really good way for me to understand how spirits were taking my offerings, because the way that they take it is like they put out the ofrendas for the ancestors, and then they literally like they take the energy of that ofrenda. So it's like it was like they were taking bread or something, and it's like they take a ghost spread off of the bread, and it's like, oh, okay, so it's like they can come back and they can keep taking the energy until it's all sucked out and it's all dry. I love Coco too. That movie is freaking amazing. I'm getting some fresh coffee. I'll be right back after this refreshing commercial break describing the rituals of female hygiene. Okay. That's funny. Wow. You were born 2/1/2000. That's really cool. And you were born 11/29 at 11/29. Yo, that's really cool. Even with water, the way you'll know spirits are, great question, the way you'll know spirits are getting your offerings with water is when you see it, or with alcohol, is when you see it like slowly going down. A lot of times, like, it'll leave a ring around where it began. If it's alcohol, you'll be able to see the sugar ring around where it began, and it'll be lower than the ring. If it's water, just fill it to the top so that you can see if it's slowly going down, because they're literally drinking that shit up. If your water gets moldy, that's a bad sign, though, because that means it's sitting still and nothing's touching it. If it's getting lower and lower, it means it's, like, evaporating and being taken. I usually like to pour into the earth, my yard. Yep. I was born March 20th, 1973, the year of the bull. Pisces, Aries cusp. That's awesome. That makes me feel good. My offerings never look bad. They just dry up. Yes, good. That's fantastic. That's how you know they're getting it. You can't read what I write because you don't wear glasses. What? So I was somebody who, I've had glasses since 2nd grade, and I just wore them instead of contacts for a long time. And then now I've gone through periods where I wear one more than the other. And now I'm literally not wearing glasses for like the last 2 months because I went to have them adjusted, and they adjusted them way too tight and they squeezed my head. So instead of just going back and getting them readjusted, I'm just like, I'm just gonna wear contacts forever now. I really have to go and get my glasses adjusted so I can read your comments. Just kidding. Thanks for the explanation. My grandma offered 2 orishas. Do you know of them? Yeah, girl. Those are the 7 African powers. They are powerful. And a lot of times they will come to you when they want to work with you. I was talking about Elegua earlier. Yemaya. Oh, I love her. Honestly, what the 7 African powers did to get my attention was make me very sick. Like, spirit just does that to get my attention. Sometimes it's hard, to slow down from human life. But I got very, very sick, and nothing helped until I called upon Yemaya to heal me. And then Yemaya also actually helped me get out of my abusive relationship because she despises domestic abuse. So a lot of times, like you were saying, your grandmother worked with them. They probably no, like I was saying, it's important to work with your ancestors first. You should work with your ancestors first, but they probably already know you because they know her, so they probably will come to you to want to work with you. Yes, you love Yemaya too. Oh, one of my favorite things is to go to the ocean with white roses, 5 or 6 or 7 white roses, and also to take a big ass watermelon. Like, every time I go to the beach, my bag is so damn heavy, and I'm like, like, my life is so hard, my bag is so heavy, because I got a big ass watermelon in it and all these tools. And Spirit always says to me, Nikki, it's the pilgrimage. Like, it's not supposed to be easy to give this offering. So I go and I bring like a bunch of melons, I bring peppers for Legba so that he will open the way. That's the important thing. If you want to get to any of the Orishan, like the Orishas or the 7 African powers, you got to create a relationship with Elegua, because it's like you get to the party and the bouncer won't let you through the door. That's how you got to think of him. You got to he's the gatekeeper. He will allow you to be in communication with them. So like, if you can get there and try to bring stuff to this party, but the bouncer won't let you in, it's no use. So yeah, one of my favorite things is to go to the beach and bring my offerings and just throw them in the ocean, and people stare at me, and some people get mad at me and think that I'm littering, and I'm like, no, all of it is biodegradable, I would never litter. But yeah, I love doing that. Yes. Yes, she probably, yes, that's amazing. Oshun is lovely as well. Yeah. I love the 7 African powers. Does anybody have any more questions? Did I miss anything? That glasses comment made me laugh. Me too. Do I keep missing your comments? Is that why you say I can't read them? I want to work with them, but I don't know where to start or who to start with. Well, I would say research each of them individually. See which one you feel the closest connection to, and then step forth, like do it one at a time. Step forth to the one that you feel the closest to, but like I said, the first one you're really gonna have to get to know to have passage to the 7 African powers is Ilegwa, and I was talking about him a little bit at the beginning of this. I'm not sure if you were there for that, but I was just saying, like, he is an opportunistic spirit, so he will take from you what he can. So it's very important to set boundaries with him and let him know that if you're giving him something, he must give you something in return. So I would start with Ilegwa, and then I would research them all. But start with your communication with Ilegwa, and then pick one that you would like to get close to before, and then, you know, eventually, because you got to think of it like friends. Like, if you have too many friends or like too much family trying to spend time with you all the time, trying to talk to you all the time, wanting your attention all the time, there's no time for you. So you got to think of spirits like that too. Like, this is an entity, this is an aspect of self that you're working with, and it needs attention. So you don't want to take on too much at once, because then you won't be able to give the appropriate amount of attention to each of them, you know? Good night. Thanks for joining the chat. It was wonderful. You were a very great contributor. How did you get into the tarot, and how did you learn? So when I went to college, I made 2 friends who read tarot, and I was like 18, and my whole life had felt a connection to this kind of thing and would always look for spirituality in the wrong places, like in abandoned insane asylums and shit like that. And so I met these 2 friends, and they were tarot readers, and I was like, yo, that's cool, like, I want to learn. So they would often let me use their deck, and we would pull cards, and they would tell me their personal meanings as well as the like written meanings for each of the cards, and we kind of all just kind of learned and grew and progressed together. And once I practiced a little bit with their decks, when I was in college, there was no Amazon. There was not shit like that. Like, you couldn't just go online and order something like that. So, like, what we did was we all went to Salem, and when we went to Salem, Massachusetts, I live in Connecticut, so I live pretty close, and we went and, you know, we saw some psychics and stuff, and we went to different metaphysical shops, and I was like, on this trip, I'm gonna get me a tarot deck. And so I got the Celestial Tarot deck, which was really hard to work with because there were so many aspects that I was unfamiliar with. Like, I wasn't as familiar with astrology or with symbolism or things like that. But it spoke to me, and it's a deck that I have now, like, to this day, and people are always like, where'd you get that? I want that. What's the name of it? I don't even know the name of it because it was like, I got it so long ago and I don't have the box anymore. But yeah, that's how I got into it. Good night. I just got my first deck today. Feels like a kid in a candy store. That's awesome. That's awesome. You're really going to connect to yourself and to your spirits, and it's going to give you the confidence to understand that you are psychic and that you can channel. I believe every human is psychic. I believe that every human has the ability to channel and be a portal. It's just how much work are you going to put in to figure out how to do it, you know? Damn, I just jumped in with Oshun. You can offer her sunflowers and pumpkins, love stuff. I gave her rings before I asked for anything. Yes, it's important. It's important to show them that you're going to give something to get something. And Oshun is, I think she's a lovely spirit to start with. It's also a great time of year for that. We're approaching fall, so there's going to be some great pumpkins. I have sunflowers that are blooming out in my yard right now, actually. It's a great time of year for that. I would suggest that y'all go this fall and you find yourself a pumpkin that speaks to you, because pumpkins are deeply spiritual, and find yourself a beautiful pumpkin that speaks to you, and instead of carving it, I mean, you can carve it if you want, but just like let it be itself and see what it has to see what kind of energy it has to give to you. Because I did that last year with like a little sugar pumpkin. That pumpkin was like my best friend for months. It was just like, it had the most pure, beautiful energy. Oh man, guys, I think I'm probably gonna get going. This has been amazing. You were just looking at upcoming pumpkin patches. What's my favorite Halloween movie? Halloween is my favorite holiday. I look for it. Me too, girl. I love me some Samhain. That's the Wiccan term for it. Samhain. Hocus Pocus. That's a great movie. What is my... Yo, I gotta take it back to Halloween Town. Halloween Town was my shit, with Marnie like being a witch and getting her powers, and like I literally always would expect for that to happen to me. Like I'd always expect like summer would end and then like boom, like I'm a witch now. And I guess it did happen eventually. Oh, Flower, you're from Holland? That's cool. Yes, have a beautiful night too. Sweet dreams, everyone. Yeah, y'all, I should probably go to bed too. I gotta go to the chiropractor in the morning. I don't even know what time it is. But thank you guys for tuning in. This is only my second live, and I'm always like, what if no one shows up and I'm just staring at the camera and there's nobody here? So thanks for coming, and thanks for providing such amazing questions and like such a great back and forth. I think we should do this more often. I really want to connect with you guys more. Yeah, so let's do this more often. But yeah. Oh, Twitches! Yo, Tia Tamara, Twitches, yes. Okay, okay, yes, bye, sweet dreams, Flower. Have a good night, have good dreams. But yes, so good night, everybody. I don't really know how to end this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for connecting, and I will talk to you soon. I'll have some more readings out for you soon. Like I said, I'm just kind of protecting my energy because I got so sick. But I want to do some more readings soon. I'm going to start taking private readings again soon. And like I said, I just got a new stand for my phone. So we're going to be able to I got a long neck bendy one so that like it can be looking down at the cards so you can be seeing what I'm seeing. So, you know, just trying to take it to the next profesh level, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I'll be talking to you guys soon. I'll be putting out some new readings soon, and I wish you tried to save it so we can all talk to each other later. Save the video? It's 143 minutes. Please save it. Y'all want me to save it? Okay, I can try. I'll just have to set an alarm on something else. Okay, alright, whatever. I'll save it. Alright, okay. So, yeah. All right, I hope everybody has good dreams. Say your prayers before you go to bed, okay? Say what you're thankful for and ask to be healed and ask to evolve. I love you guys so much. Thanks for such amazing conversation and thanks for all the support and love and kindness that you give to me. And I will be seeing you soon.